And that's why Spain became the bridge between the East and the West. And what was known as Greek knowledge, unknown to Europeans, was passed through the Arabs. Because what happened then is, but just like this happening today, many of the Arabs and Muslims who are oblivious of their classical knowledge, which is now being preserved in American universities. They come and study Islam in America. You're an Arab from Arabia. Why are you coming to study Islam in America today? This was the same thing. The Europeans were coming to study about the Greeks from the Arabs. Just like Arab students now get PhDs from Harvard in Islamic studies. Can you imagine that? You're from Egypt. They speak Arabic. You're from Iraq. You have to come to New York to be taught about your past. This was what happened to the Europeans. They had to come to learn about the Greeks from the Muslims, because the Muslims were the custodian of Greek knowledge. And you have to know the history, why this was the case. Because the eastern wing of the Roman Empire, we call the Byzantines, when the Vandals and the Visigoths overrun the western part of the Roman Empire with Attila the Hun, the center of culture moved to the east. And it was the Greek-speaking part of the Roman Empire which were the custodian of the knowledge about the ancient Greeks. And since they became rival to the Catholics, the knowledge was with them. And they were now living under Muslim hegemony. So when the Muslims were ruling Spain, that knowledge was transferred to them in Spain. So if you're a Western Christian and you want to know about Plato and Aristotle and others, you have to go to the Arabs. And that's what happened. So this way, that knowledge gradually went back. That's why you have, if you read St. Aquinas, who is the leading thinker of Christendom, next to Augustine, Summa Theologica, which is his major work, you will see over 100 citations to Ibn Rus. You see, and many of those early Christian thinkers, just like many Arabs and Muslim thinkers today, they will quote Bernard Lewis and all these other people when they write. You see what I'm saying? This human knowledge, that's how knowledge transfers from one group to the other. And as a result, Spain became the center of knowledge at that time. And you find a rich collection of books in their libraries. And the Spanish Muslims became very influential, not only in the West, but also in the East. People like Ibn Rus, people like Ibn al-Arabi, and people like Ibn Hazm, and countless others who influenced the way British royalty later on would be looking at horses and how you use horses. You know, this whole idea of horse riding and the whole culture of horses, the Arabian horse, as they call it in the West. All that falconeering, you know, use of the falcon in hunting. So many other things that were taking place grew out of Spain to the rest of Europe. And of course, they came to Spain from the East. That's what happened in terms of civilization.